In a hypothetical fight against Islam, how do you see that fight going? If it goes to the ground, do you feel confident that you could outgrapple him, or would you try to keep it standing? And
My mindset is always the same. I'm always looking to achieve things that no one could. So someone could submit him. I will be the first one to submit him. And
any specific
yeah,
submission?
Now I heard some love from some idiot, but it's gonna happen.
Islam, you know you have a crazy, dangerous opponent with Arman Sarukian, so sorry to talk about something else, but one guy that keeps talking about you also is Ilia Topuria. Do you have a message for him? He really wants to fight you next year.
No, man. I'm tired to give chance the small guys, you know. I need my second belt, you know. It's nothing excited. He's a good fighter, he's a good skills fighter, but I don't want to give him chance, you know. I need second belt. They fight for what? For me, it's nothing. Just his name. I don't need his name. I need the belt.
To a hypothetical fight that would be Ilia Topuria beating Justin Gaethje, leaving the division, going to 170, and taking on Islam. And that was another one where I kept pushing back, saying, man, I don't disagree that that's a big fight. I will just remind you exactly 1 year ago today, exactly to the day, Ilia Topuria announced that he was moving to the division and called out Islam, who had not yet announced that he was leaving the division. So the idea of trying to make this really big fight down the line that we could have made 1 year ago.
Whoa, hold on. You hear that? Chael Sonnen just dropped a bomb about Ilia Topuria and Islam Makhachev that's going to resonate throughout the entire UFC lightweight and featherweight divisions. For weeks, we've heard whispers, but now we're getting insight into just how much frustration is building with Ilia. Chael's revelation about Topuria calling out Islam a year ago, long before Islam even hinted at a move, perfectly frames the tension. It shows Ilia isn't just talking big, he's been ready for this monumental clash, and the silence from Makhachev's camp, or the UFC's reluctance to make it happen, is clearly fueling Topuria's simmering rage. This isn't just a hypothetical dream fight. It's a missed opportunity that has Topuria feeling disrespected and, frankly, snapping with frustration.
Also, I felt helped to prove my point. If you're talking about the big fight that you would be excited for, and we would be excited for that, you're talking about a fight with a guy in a completely different division. I feel that you're proving my point. If you're arguing a make-believe fight against a guy that's already got an opponent and is in a different division, and that's your argument as to why this guy is so anticipated. He's not going to fight that guy. He's going to fight Ian Gary, or he's going to fight Morales. Of which, by the way, I'm very confident is Morales.
Chael absolutely nails it here. The very argument that a big fight for Islam involves a hypothetical scenario with Ilia Topuria, who's not only in a different division but also already booked, only strengthens Chael's point about the current landscape lacking compelling matchups for Makhachev. This validates Ilia's snap because it underscores that he is the one fight capable of generating genuine excitement across divisions. Topuria, by existing as this undeniable threat and constantly pushing for the clash, exposes the UFC's current dilemma. He's not just a potential opponent, he's the proof that Islam needs a truly significant challenge to maintain his fan engagement.
I just had an argument with Mike Bond, and it was about Islam, and I gotta tell you, I was being a bit of a jerk, but that's not where my heart was. Let me explain. Mike starts telling me, he's asking me questions. I was a guest on The Bonfire. And the way the segment worked is he was going to give me hot takes and then get my response to it. And we come to Islam, and he says, we're anticipating the return of Islam, finishes his question. And I answered the question on the hot take. I said, but I challenged the premise of your question.
This is where the entire debate ignites. Chael's upfront admission about being a jerk actually highlights the raw honesty of his perspective. He's challenging a fundamental assumption about Islam Makhachev's appeal. This opening sets the stage for a critical examination of how the UFC markets its champions and how fans truly react. The anticipation Chael questions isn't just about an upcoming fight, it's about the broader narrative of Islam's reign. And as we've seen, Ilia Topuria is the fighter who has unilaterally decided to force a new narrative, demanding a fight that, according to Chael's argument, would instantly generate the anticipation Islam's current run seems to lack. Ilia is creating the hot take himself.
I don't believe that you are anticipating the return of Islam. I don't believe you. I think that's something that you said. I don't think that there is an exciting fight out there for Islam, which, by the way, when I say I felt like a jerk about it, it wasn't to insult. Islam is great. I fully get Islam's greatness. I'm saying I don't think there's an exciting fight. I think Islam has gotten to that level of greatness where it's hard to think that somebody can deal with that. And if you can't make believe that somebody can deal with that, you cannot be excited for the fight.
This is the core of Chael's argument. A fighter's greatness doesn't automatically equate to exciting fights if the audience can't envision a legitimate challenge. This explains precisely why Ilia Topuria is so important to Islam Makhachev's narrative, especially in light of the declined again angle. Topuria isn't just another opponent, he's the embodiment of that somebody who can deal with that factor. His undefeated record, his brutal finishing power, and his unshakable belief that he can defeat Islam, even in a heavier weight class, creates the genuine make-believe of a competitive fight. Ilia offers the very thing Chael says is missing, making Topuria's callouts a solution to Islam's perceived problem of a lack of exciting challenges.
This is my contention. He disagreed. I went back to it. He says, hey, Islam wins 3 more fights. He's going to have 20 wins in the UFC, 20 wins in a row. He's going to be in an argument for GOAT. That's what we want. I said, okay, Mike, there again, I don't believe you. I don't believe that that is what you want. I don't believe that anybody thinks that way. Wow, he's going to, 20 wins in a row. Oh, he's going to end an argument for GOAT. What are you talking about?
Chael's bluntness here cuts through the noise. He's asserting that fans prioritize immediate excitement and a meaningful challenge over historical win streaks or future GOAT status. This is the heart of Topuria's frustration and why his snapping is so understandable. Ilia isn't interested in being a historical footnote. He's focused on the now, on delivering the most compelling fight possible. When Islam allegedly declines a fight with Topuria, he's missing an opportunity to secure a truly meaningful opponent that would generate the visceral excitement Chael believes is currently lacking. Ilia represents that meaningful opponent who could legitimize Islam's current reign in the eyes of the casual fan, not just the statisticians.
Do you have an exciting fight or not? Do you have an exciting opponent or not? I give a goddamn what you did in your last 19 fights. I care if you did in your last 9 fights or your 900 fights. What's that got to do with tonight? You have a meaningful opponent or you don't. And I think there is one. By the way, I think it's Kamaru Usman, but I'm not going to get my way. Kamaru has already said that the UFC has let him know that they're not going to go in that direction. Great. And there's another very interesting one.
Chael's point about needing a meaningful opponent is absolutely critical for generating buzz. It doesn't matter how dominant you are, if the narrative isn't compelling, the fans won't be tuning in droves. This is precisely why Ilia Topuria's challenge is so impactful. He's not just a lightweight, he's a featherweight champion with an undefeated record and a knockout artist's mentality, promising to bring a level of threat and excitement that Islam hasn't faced in a while. Topuria isn't content to just be another name on a win streak. He wants to be the name, the one who changes the landscape. His confidence, his style, and his willingness to step up make him the definition of a meaningful opponent that Chael is asking for.
And not necessarily today. A year ago, and maybe we need another year in the future, but that would be Rakhmonov. Rakhmonov would be a very interesting fight, at least on paper, that we could sit back and be excited. And he went on and he told me, Islam is definitely one of the 3 biggest stars in MMA. So, all right, Mike, but there again, I don't believe that you mean that. And I said, with what numbers do you possibly make that statement?
Even Chael's discussion of potential interesting fights like Rachmanov and Usman, while valid, further highlights the scarcity of compelling matchups for Islam within his own division or even a logical step up. This reinforces the unique position Ilia Topuria holds. Ilia isn't just a potential fight, he's a narrative-altering event. His constant pursuit and confident call-outs have created a genuine demand unlike perhaps any other potential opponent. If Islam truly wants to cement himself as one of the biggest stars, as Mike suggests, a clash with a dominant, trash-talking champion like Topuria is arguably far more impactful than some of the matchups Chael is hinting at here.
Islam was offered Ian Gary. I believe, draw-wise, that Ian Gary is the bigger star. Feel free to disagree with me, but I believe that. And I have very specific numbers as to why I believe that. But I don't believe he's fighting Ian Gary. I believe he's fighting Michael Morales. And I do not believe that this is what I said to Mike, I do not believe that you are excited for that fight. I do not believe that you have any belief that Islam is going to lose. That doesn't mean that Islam couldn't lose, by the way. I'm sharing that, but you got to believe it ahead of time.
This is where the rubber meets the road. Chael's skepticism about Islam's current star power isn't just a critique. It's an observation about the market's response to his current matchups. The potential fight with Ian Gary, or the confirmed one with Morales, simply doesn't generate the same anticipation as a clash with a genuine rival. And that's precisely why Ilia Topuria's consistent, aggressive pursuit of Islam is so vital. Ilia doesn't just promise a fight. He promises a spectacle, a challenger who believes he can win, and who the fans might actually believe could win. His energy, his trash talk, and his undefeated record are exactly what Islam needs to elevate his star power beyond just a dominant champion to a truly must-see global phenomenon. Ilia is the draw Islam needs.
This entire business is not based on tickets. It's not based on pay-per-views. This business is based on one word, which is anticipation. It does not matter how great the fight was. I know that you're told that. It does not matter if SportsCenter breaks off the clip and plays it. The only way to do business is to have somebody anticipate before it happens. They've got to watch it, not the clip after. Okay, great. So I don't believe you.
Chael's point here is the gospel truth for anyone in the fight business. Anticipation is the currency that drives the entire sport, not just highlight reels after the fact. And this principle underscores why Ilia Topuria's relentless pursuit of Islam Makhachev is such a game-changer. Ilia isn't just an option. He's the option for genuine, unadulterated anticipation. When Topuria talks, it's not just bravado. It's a promise of a potential upset, a clash of titans where the outcome isn't a foregone conclusion. His belief in himself, his skill, and his willingness to talk the talk and walk the walk creates exactly the kind of pre-fight excitement that Chael argues is missing from Islam's current opponents. Ilia is anticipation.
And he pushed back pretty hard. He said, now wait just a second. And I said, what do you base this on? And I'm waiting for him to say pay-per-views. I'm waiting for him to recite a live gate. I'm waiting for him to cite merchandise, but he didn't. He did make his case, though. He said, I have seen his social media. I have seen his clips. I have studied these numbers. I am the head editor of MMA Junkie, and I got to stand down. That was a good answer.
This is a fascinating pivot in the discussion, highlighting how modern fight promotion isn't just about traditional metrics like PPVs. Mike Bond, with his experience at MMA Junkie, emphasizes the digital footprint, social media engagement, clip views, and here's where Ilia Topuria truly shines. He generates massive engagement. Every single one of his pronouncements, his confident jabs at other fighters, especially Islam, explodes across social media. Ilia understands how to create clips that people actively seek out before the fight, not just after. While Islam is undoubtedly skilled, Ilia provides the spark that sets those social media metrics on fire, proving that a true rivalry, like the one Ilia is desperately trying to forge, is still the strongest driver of interest across all platforms.
I don't do good business with Islam. I could put Islam in a thumbnail. I can put his name out there. I don't get big interactions from you guys. So I was wondering what he was looking and talking about. So I went and looked it up. And it was Islam specifically. If you have Islam specifically that shows up for an interview, there is a part of the world that tunes in and wants to hear. But I felt a little bad about it, I must tell you. I felt like I was being a jerk to Islam.
This is telling insight from Shail himself. When an iconic figure like Sunan, who lives and breathes engagement, admits he struggles to generate buzz around Islam, it underscores the very point about anticipation. It's not a knock on Islam's ability, but a stark reality about general audience interest beyond his core fanbase. This is exactly why Ilia Topuria is so critical. Ilia, simply by uttering Islam's name, by promising to dismantle him, creates instant interaction. He brings the controversy, the drama, the personal animosity that translates into clicks, views, and genuine excitement. Topuria isn't just selling a fight. He's selling a story, a narrative that transcends technical prowess and gets people genuinely talking, commenting, and anticipating, exactly what Shail says is missing.
But I'm now being told by a guy that does see the numbers and has the right to an opinion. Mike is a very hardworking guy, and he definitely knows what's going on, but he says that he is looking forward to what is next for Islam. Without an opponent. Just what's next for Islam. Okay, great. It's going to be Michael Morales. I don't believe you that you're excited for that. I don't believe you. Who's right? Me or Mike? Islam versus Morales. Are you anticipating that fight?
This final point brings it all home. Shail is questioning the very nature of anticipation surrounding Islam's next fight, especially against Michael Morales. This is precisely why Ilia Topuria's sustained and aggressive campaign against Islam is not just talk. It's a desperate plea from the fans and, as Shail suggests, a necessary injection of excitement for Islam's career. Ilia offers a genuine, high-stakes, unpredictable challenge that Morales simply doesn't. When Topuria demands that fight, he's essentially offering Islam a chance to truly capture the global MMA audience's attention, not just maintain dominance. Ilia is the answer to the question, are you anticipating that fight? Because with Topuria, the answer is an undeniable, resounding yes.